Hello loves, Roisin here. Let's talk about embodying the heroine or the hero within. So the hero is a kind of foundational archetype that all others that encompasses all archetypes. And opposing the hero, whilst most archetypes I talk of as having a shadow aspect, that which needs to be integrated, just as the hero encompasses all other archetypes, the shadow of the hero is actually the shadow, is our shadow. So yeah, it's the fundamental journey of our self-actualization. It's our journey through this life, the stories upon stories upon stories of how we grow and how we learn and how we shape actually our reality. Joseph Campbell did a lot about the hero's journey, wrote a lot about it, and he talked about 3 key aspects of each hero's journey. And this may come from like a creative writing perspective, but also it feeds into our own life perspective too. So the 3 aspects of the hero's journey are the separation. It's like the separation from what was, from what we want to remove ourselves from, whether that's a place, a person, a way of being, and so on. And from that, as we journey through our hurdles, there's the initiation, there's the growth, and then the sort of full circle return. So we come back to ourselves, we come back to a new way of being, and so the cycle starts again. And this is what I mean about the stories upon stories of our own huge life story. And really, you know, all life is story. It's what life is built upon, and we are the authors of our own story if we choose, and we are the co-creators, if you like, of our shared reality, of our collective consciousness. So Jung, who really looked into the archetypes and explored them and really brought this theory forward, talked about the unconscious personal journey is the hero's journey back to the collective consciousness. And in that sense, through our own heroic stories, we shape, or can and have the opportunity to shape, a more heroic reality. I've been working and exploring the archetypes for a few years now, maybe in a sort of Jungian sense, but my own intuitive explorations, and coming off the back of working with women who see in the dark, and our different archetypal manipulative tactics, shall we say. And I bring it through in a dance sense and in a more embodied sense. Recently, I've been really inspired by a woman called Rachel Newsom, who again brings this sort of Jungian aspect, which is a sort of rabbit hole and a deeper theoretical understanding that I'm exploring. But she brings it through in a depth writing, and some of you may know that I'm also a writer. So she kind of talked about, she brought this through the idea of the hero archetype through the lens of Octavia Butler's cult visionary fiction, The Parable of the Sower. And really this idea that through the seeds that we sow, the choices that we make, we are creating reality. The parables, the stories that we tell, just as the Bible may say so, so our stories say so also. So in this story, this book, we look through the eyes of a 15-year-old heroine who creates her own religion and her own name from God on a foundation of collapse, actually, recognizing that change itself is God. And it's this idea of this sort of like co-creative reality, this collective consciousness that we exist within and that we are constantly shaping, is in its sense based in change and choice. And this comes through our heroic overcoming of unified challenges, seen through the lens of the personal. I hope you're following me in this. It can go quite deep, the hero's journey. You know, these are collective understandings. The archetypes are collective, threads and themes of our shared reality, but we also see them through the lens of our own personal unconscious. And this is ultimately the hero's journey back to the collective consciousness. And really, on a bigger scale, it's beautiful to imagine this of each of us in our own personal unraveling or personal heroic journey, creating the heroic story for us all to exist within. But to unravel the idea or the archetype of the hero a bit deeper, like the hero is like for good, it's acting for good, and it's taking a stand for something, for a belief that we want to bring through. It takes courage and it takes ambition, and if we look at it you know, on a wide lens perspective, or in a magnetized sense, actually, we've got this idea of the superhero, like comic book hero, and in that we see the sort of close-up reality of the hero, the superhero fighting the villain, and actually it's like overcoming the demons or overcoming the shadow. At the moment, I have been, and we've been journeying through the 9-day or night celebration and call on the goddess Navaratri, which is a Hindu festival. But again, this sort of feeds into this idea of the hero goddess, the great mother, which offers all life, Durga in this sense, the goddess of power and protection, and the different ways she overcomes the asuras or the demons. And as we do this through ourselves, through mantra, we clear through different aspects of our own inner demons. So for 3 days, there's a call on Kali, the dark feminine, to slay our inner limitations, to cut through them. A 3-day call on Lakshmi, the goddess of abundance, and really seeing where we're not opening to the fullness, the fecundity of all of life. And then Saraswati, bringing in that knowledge, that wisdom. And so we work through this mind in that way, and through mantra we tune into that frequency, and it's wonderful. I love mantra. However, there's a great book that's titled, and it's really exemplary of what I believe, is that the body keeps the score. Which is why, yes, this consideration through writing, journaling, even talking is wonderful and necessary. And there's another layer which I love to bring through dance. You know, it's like, are we really embodying that which we wish? And for me, this is where shamanic dance can really come in to its own. Blending that, or blending into a liminal space of past, present and future all colliding, or being in this cosmic soup of creation, where we bring our understanding, our own stories of archetypes, each of them part of the heroic journey. Specifically, I run like the Queen and King archetypes: lover, mother, father, warrior, magician, priestess, and king and queen. Like, our stories, our own personal stories, make up the common thread, and that collective understanding and creation of such. So we talk about them, we discuss them, we understand it from our own perspective and from the collective, and then move that through the body so that they can be literally internally slayed and recreative, almost reshaped through our way of being. I really believe it's a delicious combination of the masculine of consciousness and the feminine of feeling. And I guess really that's what I stand for in what I offer in my own hero's journey, in myself and in my work, is that the supporting the rise of the feminine within us all, regardless of gender, recognizing that we need to feel to heal, and feeling means coming into the body, and the body is not separate from the earth. But that's not to separate it from the masculine, actually it's to unify. So we bring this consciousness, same as we might through our writing or through our journaling or through our shared storytelling, and we take that into the body, into feeling, and we transmute it, we alchemize it into a reshaped reality, both individually and collectively. It gets me really excited, especially with so much of the King and the Queen, especially that whole dance series being about sovereign being, ultimately rewriting the story of sovereignty, of power, and putting it back into the collective consciousness, into the people. I've been reading or listening to Liz Gilbert's book Big Magic, and she talks about getting out of your way to let inspiration come through, and that's kind of a bardic understanding of Awen being inspiration, that deep listening. So if this speaks to you in some way, I'd love for you to share your own story, your own hero's journey, and perhaps a comment here, or in coming to one of my circles, dances, or online women's circles, because really it's our stories that shape reality, and not just our own, but that shared reality. So I'll leave it there, and wish you much courage and ambition to stand for what you believe in and take that leap of faith in the hero's journey, slay the villains within, and take us all through to a greater sense of power. With so much love.